Are you allowed to trick somebody? To fool somebody? Good question. We see that Jacob fooled his father to get the blessings. And it seems to be okay. He's not admonished for it at all. Sometimes in life, to gain something greater, the only way you can get it is to appear one thing and be another thing. So he appears like he's his brother Esau, but he's not. Now, he never lied. He was careful in the words that he said, but he appears as one thing, and indeed he's another thing. And the reason why is sometimes you need to gain blessings, as he gained from his father. Jacob gained the blessings from his father Isaac, Yitzchak, that were meant for Esau, the older brother. Lofty blessings, and he needed to gain those blessings, because without having them, he wouldn't be able to deal with him and help him later on throughout the ages. So he got these lofty blessings in order to ultimately help him and refine him. That was the ultimate. Welcome to Tanya today. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zichron Kadesh in Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. So, in life, there are things the way they appear, and then there's the way they are in a deeper manner. So, like Jacob, the way he appears as Esau, but yet deeper, there's something deeper there. So with that prelude, we can now understand in the fourth essay, we continue about the uniqueness of prayer, that prayer is a greater refinement than even Torah study. But first, we need to understand that in the Eitz Chaim, teachings from the Arizal, it's written that the 248 positive commandments are rooted in the 5 attributes of kindness of Zot in the world of Atzilus. In other words, every positive commandment, which is a commandment of an action to do something, right, like putting on tefillin, or prayer, for example, and the doing is in the fact that you say prayers, you don't just read prayers. It's rooted in the kindly attributes, the kindly attributes in the world of Atzilus. The 635 prohibitions of the Torah, which are the things you can't do, they're rooted in the 5 attributes of severity of Zav Atzilus. Severity means holding back, God holding back the light, a limitation, right, in order that that light should not go into an unsavory place. That's what the prohibition is. Not to go, to make sure it doesn't go, this holy light, into a place of negativity. So that's what it says in one place. Elsewhere it's written in the Zohar, that seems to be contradicting, that the 613 commandments, they derive from one path, which is what's called the whiteness of the supernal level of Kesser, which the higher level of Kesser means crown. So it's a transcendent level. That's where the mitzvahs come from. And in that level, there is no right and left. In the Eitz Chaim, positive commandments are from the right side. a flow of divine energy, of light in the act of doing a mitzvah. And the negative mitzvahs, the prohibitions, are expression of the left, are an expression of the left, withholding, holding back the light. But in the Zohar, it sounds like speaking about mitzvahs coming from a place that is transcendent of right and left, a place where there is no withholding of the light. How do we understand that contradiction? That's the question. What's the point of a mitzvah? The point of the mitzvah is that there should be a fixing, a refinement. A refinement, ultimately in this physical world, through the act of doing a mitzvah, right? There should be this refinement. That's the ultimate purpose. Where does the power come for that refinement? The source of that is divine intellect of love, of Kesser, of the crown that we spoke about, the whiteness of the crown. That light over there is a supreme delight. That is drawn from there into a place where there's a distinction, right and left, where there's a distinction of giving and holding back, where there's a distinction of a source for limitation, a source for negativity that can come from there, which is then where the mitzvahs become the 248 organs of Zoh, incorporating the 5 attributes of kindness and the 5 attributes of severity. And this is the purpose of mitzvahs. Drawing from a place that's beyond, the source of mitzvahs is a place where there is no negativity or potential negativity, Kesser, the crown, encompassing light of God, and drawing it into, in the Seder Ishtalshalos, the order of creation, or the source of order of creation, of the divine attributes, where there's a distinction, one attribute and not. So you have here the transcendent infinite drawn into the order of Seder Shalshas, the orderly manner of this world, where there is, in the divine order, distinction between one attribute and another attribute, between the right side and the left side, between the positive commandments and the negative commandments. And that distinction is in order to draw from that infinite light, where you can refine through ultimately bringing that light into this world, the sparks of godliness that need fixing, that need refinement. And where do they find themselves? They find themselves in this world, in this physical world. With this we can understand, concludes the Alter Rebbe in today's teaching, the fervent desire and plea that Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, requested of God to enter the land of Israel. He didn't want to enter the land merely so he could kind of succeed his mission. He wanted to enter the land because in the land you will have physical mitzvahs that you do with the physical land, that you didn't have in the desert. The manna came from heaven. The well came with them. They didn't have the mitzvahs of the land. They go into the land of Israel, they'll have the mitzvahs that they have to do in the land, in the physicality, which then will be a refinement that they will be able to do in those mitzvahs. Moses wanted to have that in his life, to be able to take the sparks, the 288 sparks, Repach Nitzutzais, the 288 sparks of divinity that fell, which we're going to learn more about that, what that means, into this world that need refinement. The power for that refinement is coming from Kesser, from the crown, right? The whiteness of the crown, right? That was gave the metaphor from the Zohar, to draw that down into the right and left of the divine attributes that then is now embedded in this world, and that gives us the power that in this world we can deal with the physical world, not be strayed by it, not be taken by it, but we harness it and use it to reveal divinity in this world. And that's why, again, Moses wanted to come to the land of Israel. With this, now we can understand how prayer is the way we accomplish that. Through prayer, it gives us the opportunity to refine ourselves. Where does refinement in the self need? In particular, is in the heart. Because the heart, has a lot of negativity in it. If we're honest with ourselves and we look inside of our heart, we'll see that, we harbor a lot of jealousy, judgment, negative judgment, lust. And even though we may not, we may not allow it playing time in our thoughts, which means you're truly serving God, and that's what the Beinoni does, doesn't allow playing time, pushes away those negative thoughts as they enter. But the fact is, that negativity is there in the heart. So prayer is about the heart. So it's going to help the refinement within the heart of the individual. And that's why prayer is, in that respect, greater than Torah study. Because Torah study, you're already starting with something that is holy, God's Torah. Okay, now you've got to learn it, you've got to understand it, you've got to break your head, and so on. But it's inherently holy. But prayer is about my heart that inherently, on the feeling level of the heart, isn't holy. Right? Again, if we're honest with ourselves, we'll know that our first responder is, in our hearts, is very self-directed. It's about me. That's not holy. And therefore, prayer is a place where we can refine that element in me. Because prayer is about focusing on God, not ourselves. Not focusing on what I want. I'm not focusing on what I need, what I like, right? And all that can even be in very holy manner. But it's still about me. We're focusing on praising God, on thanking God, exalting God. That's definitely a refinement that allows us to grow appropriately. Okay. Any questions? Elise is with us, Irma, Tanya. Oh, of course Tanya is with us. Where else would she be? We're learning Tanya. Czar, Carmen, Betty, Mordechai, Jeremy, Cindy, Worthy, Wendy. Um, Lorraine, Rebecca, Betty, Clem, Vilma, Eliana. Who else is with us? Akoy, Brian, Amy, Aliza, Livsha, Diane, Marilyn, Rachel, Telebenta, Margot, some others I can't make out properly. Jennifer. See no questions? Okay. Jane, John. Okay. All right, folks. We're going to continue our conversation. We're still in the middle over here of understanding prayer, Torah study, refinement. A lot more to